إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah are those with the most taqwa. I'm going to read you some examples of this. This is one of the most favorite books I ever read. It's by Al-Imam Abu Qasim Hibbatullah Ibn Hassan Al-Lalaka'i. It's called The Extraordinary Occurrences from the Allies of Allah. Get the book, not the bootleg. Get the real book, brothers. Don't support the bootleg brothers online. Get the book. It's one of the best books I ever read. The Extraordinary Occurrences from the Allies of Allah from Imam Al-Lalaka'i. He gives examples of great men from the Salaf who didn't care about being known. Rather, they refused to be known. They didn't want to be popular. From them is Ayyub as-Sakhtiyani. He is the Imam, the leader of the scholars, the trustworthy narrator of hadith. Abdul Wahid, he said, I was with Ayyub. They were on a journey, and we became severely thirsty to the extent that we were about to die. They didn't have any water. They were about to die. And so they went to a cave. Ayyub said, can you keep a secret? I said, yes, I will keep it until you die. He said, Ayyub scratched the side of the cave with his foot and water gushed out. And they drank the water and took some back with them. He was somebody that Allah Ta'ala gave the ability to bring water from an inanimate object. But he didn't want nobody to know. The only reason he made it known because it was about to die. Imagine if we could do that. He'd be on the gram. Water boy. Aquaman. Just bringing out water. Showing out. He didn't want nobody to know except when he was about to die. Next example. Haywa ibn Shurayh al-Misri. He is Hurayh ibn Shurayh ibn Safwan from Egypt. He is from the major scholars of fiqh. Imam Ahmed considered him to be from the reliable narrators of hadith. Ibn Wahab said, I have not seen anyone who conceals their deeds more than Haywa. So, Khalid ibn Nizar, he said, Haywa ibn Shurayh was from those who supplicate to Allah and cried a lot. And his livelihood was meager. His living conditions were extremely difficult. He was dirt poor. What's his name again? Haywa ibn Shurayh. Extremely poor. He said, so one day I sat beside him, and he was alone, praying, crying to Allah. So I sat beside him, and I said to him, may Allah have mercy upon you. If you were to pray to Allah, he would increase your provision. Because he thought Haywa was crying because he was poor. He said that Haywa looked to the right and looked to the left, and he didn't see anyone, so he picked up a pebble from the ground, and he said, oh Allah, turn this pebble into gold. He said that pebble immediately turned into gold. It was the best gold I've seen in my life. He said, and he tossed it to me. And he said, Allah knows best what's beneficial for his slaves. I mean, I ain't crying because I'm poor. I can get some gold. I'm not crying because of that. Khalid said, what you want me to do with the gold? He said, spend it. He said, so I became afraid to throw it away, so I spent it. Let me give you one more. The black slave, Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak. Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak, we all know who that was, right? One of the major scholars, he said, I was in Mecca, and the people were afflicted with drought. So the people went out to Masjid Haram and prayed for rain, but it didn't rain. He said, standing beside me was a black slave, meaning a young black slave boy. And the black slave said, oh Allah, they have supplicated to you, and you did not respond to them. Verily, I swear by you that you're going to give us rain. Abdullah ibn Mubarak, he said, instantly, he said, I swear by Allah, it wasn't a moment before the rain began to pour down, and the black slave just crept off and went to the background, just walked away. He said, so I followed him, and I saw he entered into the home of the morticians. So now I knew where he lived at. So the next morning, I took some dinar, meaning the local currency, and I went to the home, and there was a man outside. I said, I'm looking for the man of the house. The man said, I'm him. He said, there's a servant of yours I want to purchase. So the man said, I have 14 of them. I'll bring them to you. So he brought all the servants out. Ibn Mubarak said, I don't see him here. It's not here. Do you have any more? He said, yeah, I got a little sick, little young guy inside. Bring him out. He brought him out. It was him. He said, that's him. He said, he's yours. So I gave him $14 for him. He said, so I took him. He said, and my intention was me and my wife were going to honor this young man. He said, we were going to serve him. He said, but the boy said, you know I'm sick. Why do you want me? And Ibn Mubarak, he was honest. He said, because of what I saw you do last night. He said, the slave said, oh Allah, don't make me famous. He said, you're going to take my soul. And he said, Allah took his soul right there. He said, and all the people of Mecca gathered and prayed over him.